Good afternoon, and my name is Monica Leek. I am the managing editor for the PharSide Co-ed Book Club, and I welcome you to our celebration of National Poetry Month. And it indeed is a celebration as we highlight poets, both new and those in memory through our post as well as our interviews. Today we actually had a poet scheduled to arrive, so it seems like there may have been a mix up in the time zone understanding, but that's okay because look at your girl. Your girl is a whole poet, and you know I got some words to share with you on today. So we're going to share a piece or two from this collection that was edited, my own collection that was edited, No More Hashtags, Remembrance, and Reflections. This book was edited by Lana Hooks, who is the chief editor of PharSide Co-ed Book Club, and I'm blessed to have worked with her on this particular project. So we're going to share a couple of pieces from that, and then we'll encourage you to drop by Amazon to even go pick this up. So I'm going to ask myself my own questions that I would have asked the our visiting poet. And the first question typically that I like to start off with is, what was the inspiration behind the book, behind the title? Well, No More Hashtags came from the very fact that as African Americans, we were in a season of news reels, highlights, and sound bites where Black men, Black women, young and old, were just getting brutally shot by the police or just brutalized or beaten by the police without just cause. So in light of that, I wanted to highlight some of the stories that had come forward in the news and pay tribute to those persons who had lost their lives due to this abuse that we see or have seen and continue to see in our news media. So this particular piece is one that I wrote in memory of George Floyd. And so this is actually the first time I'm saying or sharing this piece. So I hope that it clicks or resonates with you. So here we go. Keep on denying folks their basic civil rights. Keep denying access to resources and covering up crime. Keep on abusing your authority. Just realize you have lost the respect of a community. Keep on telling us what we should do. Respect your authority, but folks still end up dead too. Keep on explaining your excessive force away. Keep on dodging accountability, but one day you'll have to pay. See, how could a call about a $20 bill turn fatal? For a counterfeit bill for cigarettes, the clerk made the call. As many times as money changes hands, how can you blame one at all? Got caught confronting the man with a gun while yet inside his car. They ordered him out, and from that point, different versions stretched near and far. The cops initially said he was sitting on top of the car and appeared under the influence. When they told him to step out of the car, they were met with some resistance. Yet video footage from the cops' body cam shows Floyd sitting inside the car, trying to hold a conversation with reason. Is resistance to this kind of change where we are? They got him in handcuffs. He appeared to be suffering medical distress, but instead of seeking help, claimed he was intentionally falling, saying he couldn't breathe. And for his mother started calling. An officer held him to the ground with his knee on his neck. Other officers watched idly by, not putting the officer in check. For 8 minutes and 26 seconds, the officer's knee was on his neck, impairing flow and cutting off breath. Coronary disease and hypertensive heart disease, prosecutors noted as the primary cause. No strangulation or asphyxiation from the autopsy report. You cannot deny the footage of the witnesses standing by, those who witnessed and recorded with cameras watching from their own eyes, bystanders shouting and screaming and demanding the madness to stop, holding legs, knee pinning down the excessive force of a cop. If you hold a person down too long, the tide is going to turn. Respect is not automatically given. Respect is earned. People of color are fed up and tired of having to beg for our basic rights, civil liberties, and freedoms. Continued police brutality lighten up like a powder keg. We are strong, resilient people. Do not take our manners for being soft. What we are about to do across this nation is really set it off. See, gathering allies in solidarity to hit the streets with signs and voices in protest to challenge systematic racism. It is a call for accountability and not civil unrest. Cause something has got to give. Something's got to change. We can't just have Black people stop breathing in police custody or just automatically shot dead again and again. We are going to call you out and question your judgment if we feel you're doing wrong. We will not sit quietly or idly stand by. We've just let this thing slide for much too long. We are galvanizing community organizations and looking over policies. We are contacting governmental officials and planning town hall meetings. We are putting forward our own agenda and recommendations for police reform. Let's put resources into community agencies that have the tools, address the issues, and get the work done. We are done dying, and it is past time for America to make good on her civil rights check, still coming up as insufficient funds. We are setting it off, and what you owe, we need to get. Remembering George Floyd. All right. So I hope y'all like that piece if you're listening live. So that was in remembrance of George Floyd, and maybe some of you paid attention to the case or watched the trial over the last week or so for updates and things of that nature, but felt led to do that particular piece. So we're going to do two more pieces and to close our set for this celebration of poetry. And we thank you for viewing, and for those who catch the replay, just continue to follow us at the PharSide Co-Ed Book Club as we promote authors, as we have more interviews, and check out our website for our services, the PharSide Co-Ed Book Club.com. Definitely want to check out our services as well. So let's go with this piece in remembrance of Sandra Bland. And it's called I Can't. I can't say I didn't know. I can't say I didn't expect. I can't say I didn't have my fingers crossed, hoping, praying, believing, protesting, marching, keeping vigil, meditating, screaming, crying for justice, for truth, for sanity, for brown and Black bodies, for peace. But like a slap in the face, I get unanswered questions. Like a slap in the face, I can't claim my rights. Like a slap in the face, my question of authority becomes assault. Failure to signal, like a slap in the face. Swung elbow and kicked his shins from inside the car. Ordered out the car, slap in the face. I can't understand the who. I can't understand the what. I can't understand the why. Hung in a cell by a garbage bag deemed suicide. What? I can't. New job, new life, fresh start. Now silence. I can't breathe. I can't function. I can't make sense of it all. Depression, mental state of mind. Can't stop wondering. Can't stop worrying. My question of authority becomes assault. Failure to signal like a slap in the face. Swung elbow and kicked his shins from inside the car. Ordered out the car. Charged with assault. Slap in the face. I can't understand the who. I can't understand the what. I can't understand the why. Mental state of mind, can't stop wondering, can't stop worrying, can't stop the nerves, can't stop the anxiety. Being a brown girl wrapped in brown skin, I can't speak my mind without you feeling threatened. Are you that soft? I can't, everywhere I go, being watched like an animal, being preyed upon. Can't work, can't play, can't love, can't pray. Still trying to claim my 2/5. This is too much. In search of sacred space, need a resting place for my weary soul. I can't. That's in memory of Sandra Bland. All right. So I'm going to ask myself one of my other questions that I usually ask authors and poets. By how long have you been writing and when did you realize? Well, I've been writing basically since I've been able to hold a pencil and form sentences and put words together. My parents or my mother can probably put her hands on older journals dating back to 7th grade. I actually found one the last time I went home to North Carolina, and it had a lock on it. And no telling where that key is. So we're going to have to figure out how to get that thing unlocked to see what kind of writings I had in that one. All right. And so for the books that I have currently out, No More Hashtags, Remembrance and Reflections, and No More Hashtags, Who You Calling, both of those works are rooted in a theme of social justice. That's a big part of who I am as a writer who, thinks about reconciliation and bridging and making connections. I really, Micah 6:8 is a big part of this particular writing work, which is where it says, God has shown you, oh man, what he has required of you, but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God. So that's what I want to do with these particular works in the No More Hashtag series, that we want to find ways to do justly, love mercy, and walk with God. Some of my favorite poets, of course, are, Gwendolyn Brooks, Dr. Maya Angelou, Nikki Giovanni, Paul Laurence Dunbar, Langston Hughes, Countee Cullen, and just many other writers of the Harlem Renaissance era, and even going, further back to those first published poets like Phyllis Wheatley. And so those writings from the past and how they conveyed, those authors, poets conveyed stories about the lives they were living, about their communities, the struggles, the challenges, the victories, as well as the defeats, has inspired my own work. So we definitely have a well that we've been able to draw from and find inspiration from for our own work. So what I hope that readers will take away, should they pick up any of my writing, is that they're motivated to step out of their comfort zone, to do something different, to get engaged, to get involved, whether it is through letter writing, whether it is to their representatives, whether it is through being a part or volunteering time with grassroots organizations, whether it is something that you do by mentoring or coaching young people or young adults in your community, or whether you start volunteering with after school programs, or if you're tutoring. There are just tons of ways to get involved, to make a difference in the forward movement and the strengthening of our communities. So hopefully by reading some of these poems and story poems, as I like to um, call them most often, is that we remember these scenarios, we remember their lives, and that they're an inspiration or a motivator as to what we should be doing in our future. So I'm going to close off this set with this last piece. If you were attended the DC Poets event back 2018. I was a finalist, and this is the piece that that got me to the finals. And so this one is called Just Us, No Justice. Just us, no justice. Just I, just you, just he, just she, just we, just they, just me, just you, just him, just her, just us, just them, just us. Just us, most frequently stopped and frisked. Just us, followed through stores as if we're going to shoplift. Just us, a group of friends, can't walk down the street. Just us to be called thugs and hoodlums when we're just trying to be. Just us, sagging jeans and natural hairstyles, copying us, but you wouldn't want to walk a mile in our shoes, our shoes, our shoes. No, you wouldn't want to walk a mile in our shoes, our shoes, our shoes. Just us driving in our neighborhood in sports cars or our Range Rovers, to be pulled out of cars until they search the whole vehicle over. Just us that even having a pool party with friends, you find a reason to crash and begin your brand of law enforcement. Just us rushed and referred to special ed. Why don't you challenge and teach like your certificate says? Just us, you rezone, redistrict, and redraw the lines, not wanting too many in your home or school zone, which is where the truth lies. Just us, for the simplest offense, refer to the principal for the behavior, wanting suspension to be your savior. Just us, when arrested, require the use of excessive force, but others stop for burgers and fries on the way to jail, of course. Just us that don't live to tell the story of having to stand our ground when a tea and a bag of Skittles are what is found. Just us that because we know our rights and articulate them, you call it disrespect. But the next day you can find us dead in a cell, call it suicide, and that ain't suspect. Just us reaching for license and registration and still get shot. No charges filed, no punishment for the cop. Just us, it's all fine when we're playing and taking hits on the field, but you can take offense because instead of stand, we kneel. Just us that you can justify redrawing voting districts and changing voting days and times, all in the name of reforming suspected voter fraud. When it's you that needs investigating, who do you think you are, God? Just us that upsets you when we have our own sitcoms, movies, music, and shows. We're fine as long as we're shucking it up and entertaining you. But if we do it for ourselves, you say we're being racist too. Just as when you label us very articulate, maybe that's because of the colleges and universities to which we went. Maybe for all your knowledge based on stereotype, not every Black person is living that thug and ghetto life. Just us living in the lap of poverty, like nobody sees the trailer parks or the broken down trucks behind the trees. Just us living on the welfare. Check the statistics because others' rates are higher. See, this is what happens when you go off assumptions and rumor. You play into a stereotype and fail to get the truth you search for. Just us that you tell to get over the past. Just us that you tell that we live in a post-racial time. Well, that sure didn't last. Even with a man in office, many of our community issues did not get to the floor. For those in power made sure to knock everything he offered through the door. Just us without the rights to lawful assembly, to be able to freely voice our disagreement with leadership and the stereotypes of society. Yet when tournament time comes and cars get burned and businesses get looted, no one is concerned. Yet peaceful protests they will condemn, and when something jumps off, just generalize to all of them. So you say there's enough blame to share on both sides. We still got to live together, so you better recognize that it's not just about you, not about your supposed superiority. It's not about us trying to take something from you that you feel such a need to carry torches and wave Confederate flags representing your hatred and greed. Just I, just you, just he, just she, we, you, they, just be. Just me, you, him, her, us, you, just them. When you single just us, where you single just us, why you single just us, how you single just us. Justice is not equal to justice. Just us is not equal to justice. Just us does not equal justice. Just us does not equal justice. Just us, no justice. Just us, no justice. Just us, no justice. Thank you for sharing this time in our celebration for National Poetry Month, and look for some other upcoming interviews on with our poets, future poets on National Poetry Month. Before the month is out, look for our post on our Facebook page. That's the PharSide Co-ed Book Club. Check us out on Facebook. You can also check us out on our YouTube channel. And if you're a writer, if you're a poet, and you're looking for support and services, definitely go to the PharSide Co-ed Book Club page on Book Club website for that information. That's FarsideCoedBookClub.com. That is PharSide. That's PHARSIDE Book Club. Coedbookclub.com, and you'll see our services, how to work with us, and other detailed information. So for now, happy National Poetry Month to all of my sister and brother scribes who do the work of sharing their artistic expressions through poetry. And until next time, many voices are a part of the infinite story. So plant your seed. Have a great afternoon.